Hey, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Let me first see if we can get some sound checks going on over here. I don't know if you can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. Okay. All right. So we are back for our midweek Torah class. See if we get a little couple seconds here for a couple people to go ahead and see that they've been notified. On all you subscribers out there, go ahead and click on that notification because we're about to start studying this Torah portion. Give a couple people a couple minutes to get in here, see what's what. In the meantime, since we on a schedule, we don't got a endless amount of time. What we're gonna be doing is looking at this week's Torah portion, which is Tetzaveh. Tetzaveh. Half of it anyway, not the whole thing. We'll look at 27 and 20. 27 and 20. And we'll go up to 29. Let's see. We'll go up to 29. I think the end of 29. No, excuse me, the end of 28. Up to, I don't know if we'll get to all of that, but that's what our limits are. We're going to be looking at, let's see, we'll be looking at I'll put the JPS up on the screen because we read out of our textbook. There's a little bit of commentary, interesting things to look at, think about, and kind of initiate some thoughts. I want to start off, let's see here. We'll start off by looking at the end of 27 and 20. Let me pull this up here. Put it up on the screen. We'll make it bigger so we can see it. Oh yeah, that's nice and big there. All right, 27 and 20 says, "And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause a lamp to burn continually in the tent of meeting, without the veil, which is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons shall set it in order to burn from evening to morning before Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever throughout the generations on the behalf of the children of Israel." All right, so The first thing I want to look at here is the Torah portion here is Tetzaveh. Tetzaveh, which is right here. Tetzaveh. It's right here. All right, so if we look at this, let's see here. Pull this up. Here, and thou shalt command, this is it here, Savah. Savah, which is to constitute, enjoin, appoint, to bid or to forbid. We look at, let's see here. We look at, here, let's do this. Let's put this, let's see this here. Look at this. Look at the Strongs here. Let's look at this here, constitute. When I think of constitute, I think about like constitution. To set, to fix, to enact, to establish. You must obey laws appointed and constituted, that's the word, by lawful authority, not against the law of Elohim. And so when you think about a command, it's like it's a thing that has been appointed. It's been set in place. It's been put into motion. Okay. If we look at, oh, here, let's look at this. Let's look at this here. It's giving us, oh, this word right here. Enjoin. Look down at number 1, to order or direct with urgency, to admonish or instruct with authority, to command. This word is more authoritative than direct, a less imperious than command. It has the force of pressing admonition with authority, as a parent enjoins on his children with duty, obedience, but it has also the sense of command as the duties enjoined by Elohim in the moral law. So when we look over here in our verses over here, what the Most High has told to Moses to tell to the people, actually in this case it is the people. They're bringing unto him this pure olive oil beaten for the light. And so I guess you got to know a little bit about the methods upon which one makes olive oil from olives, because this pure olive oil beaten is, like unto your extra virgin olive oil, right? There's no heat involved in the extraction of the oils from the olives. Right? It's from pressing or beating, right? So it's like having it inside of one of those mortal and pestle things where they beat it, the oil, instead of the cooking process, which I guess is going to give you a more inferior product, because here we want the pure oil for the light. And so when we look over here, to cause it, the lamp, the light, the oil for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually, that goes over to here, Talmud, which is here just continually, which is burns all the time, right? The oil is to burn, and it's just to keep on burning, right? To burn the oil burns Talmud always. This is interesting here. This word means to stretch, continuous. It literally means to stretch, to cause this thing to keep on going, to not stop. And so when we look at this oil that burns this light in this, in the tabernacle, in the holy place, not the most holy, it's telling us where it is. It's without the veil, so it's in the holy place. It's burning all the time. So the light in the holy place that burns from the menorah is burning all the time. It continues to burn. So the light inside there never goes out. Yes, the oil is pressed to be burned. It's interesting when you think about the oil. When you think about the oil, the olive oil to be exact. When you think about, sometimes Paul is known to have spoken about an olive tree in reference to Israel, right? So when we think about the olive, and that comes from the tree, this fuel that's necessary to burn the menorah, right? In the holy place, the menorah is necessary for the priest to bring the oil. And it's lightly processed, right? It's not cooked, it's beaten, but there is in fact a process that is necessary for the priest to follow out to get that oil ready and into the place so that he can burn it in the menorah. And so it's interesting when you think about the idea of preparing the the things that's necessary for the light to burn, right? It's necessary to for these provisions to be made. There's steps involved for the light to burn, for the light to do the thing that it's supposed to do. The menorah, it's a candlestick, right? But it can't just sit there and light on its own, right? It needs that oil, it needs that fire, it needs the wicks, all these things in order to burn. And so there's processes involved in order to, for all these things to happen. So it's interesting that in order to do this, like it's like there's these preliminary steps that need to be taken in order to get this oil together. And I think about us, because we, with Messiah in us, we're like unto the menorah, right? And we're a light, but we never go out. But the priest here has to provide the fuel, right? And there's preparations to process the fuel. And so for us really to be effective lights, there's a process. There's a process that we have to go through. There may be some beating involved. There may be some pressing. There may be some pressing that's involved in order to get that oil out. Okay. There may be some uncomfortabilities happening so that the oil can come out. Beating down the flesh, consistency. The flesh of the olive literally gets beat down. The flesh of the olive literally is beat down. It's literally crushed and smashed and pushed and smeared and all types of things done to it so that this pure oil can come out to be used to light the light. And so when we see, again, we talked about this on last week, we talked about the fact that there was a pattern. There was a pattern that was given, not to say like there's a menorah in the heavenlies, but there is a light in the heavenlies, roundabouts where where one might say the presence is. There's a light there, and we have a picture of that on earth, and these things here are kind of simulating those things in the heavens. Hold on 1 second. All right, so again, when we think about the pattern, the thing that we see that Moses has acquired here is helping us to see what's going on in the heavenlies, and so that's being emulated on earth, and it's when we look at this whole thing with this beaten oil and the light, it's and the fact that this is a continual thing, right? There's always going to have been a pressing to have happened so that the light can continue. Right? This process can never stop. There always has to be this processed olives to bring the oil to the light. And so we should always think and anticipate, the refining of our inner man, so that the Messiah's light can properly shine. Because when you think about it, it's gonna be your carnality that's dimming your light. It's gonna be your carnality that's dimming your light. Your light's gonna be wanting to shine, but your flesh is going to get in the way, right? And so that flesh is going to have to be smashed and smeared, right, and pressed so that oil could come out. That evidence of the crushing of the flesh happens, and then that fuels the fire of Messiah. So when we move ourselves out of the way, our carnality, when we press our carnality down, the spirit the spirit is what rises up. All right, let's keep on going. Let's look at some more of this over there. And then go ahead and share this so some people could come in here and get in on the conversation, because we only got an hour left. We only got an hour to go. So I don't want people to miss out. All right, so let's look at this some more. I think I like looking at it like this. All right, let's. I'm gonna read this part of the pure oil burns with less smoke. Oh, that's interesting. That's very good. All right, let's look at 28. And bring thou near unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for splendor and for beauty. All right, so let's stop right there, mostly because I don't want to go too far here. We look down here at 28. Here, he says, the Most High is saying for Moses to go and to bring near unto thee, talking to Moses, bring near Aaron, near to him, our brother, and his sons, because he's getting ready to have them, begin to, understand the things that are incorporated with this whole duty of being one of Aaron's sons, because he has the duty of the high priest. Aaron does. One of his sons will take his place, so they got to know what's going on and begin to talk about it. So let's look over here. I'm going to look at I'm testing my skills over here. Hakarev. Let's look at that. $28. Approach. Bring near. Approach is interesting. But approach, I guess in this situation, he would have had to have caused Aaron and his sons to approach, which I guess, as it says, causatively to bring near. If you can approach, or you can cause someone to approach. It seems like that's what he's doing here with this command. It's interesting that Moses being close to the Most High, he speaks to the Most High, speaks to Moses. And Moses kind of is, he's kind of made close to the Most High. He's approached the Most High. He's been brought near. There's a level of comfortability. There's a level of comfortability that has been created between the Most High and Moses. And then so Moses is being instructed to bring Aaron and his sons near unto Moses, which in turn is causing Aaron and his sons to be close to the Most High. Right? The same way, because when you think about it, Moses really is the first priest, right? Where he has to, he's got to do all of the things to Aaron, right? He's the initiator of all of these things. And so when we think about Aaron and who he is and what he represents, he only represents it as Moses, first represented it for him. And so the closeness that exists between the Most High and Moses is replicated, right? Aaron don't get as close as Moses is to the Most High. And it's interesting that they even have it in this way. Moses is closer to the Most High. And I don't mean spatially, I kind of mean like relationally. He's close to the Most High. And then so he brings Aaron close to him. And then his sons, behind him. But it's like, again, we think about what the high priest and, what he represents to the people. it's necessary for him to have that greater level of set apartness, right? And so it's kind of almost even pictured here when uh, they use the words here, bring thou near unto thee, bring Aaron near to you, right? Because again, your Moses is near already to me, right? And that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, which they say all that, and it's really just Kahan. Shalom, shalom, Christian. See you over there. And so let's look at verse 2 here. Verse 2 talks about the fact that you, Moses, shall make holy garments for Aaron, thy brother, for splendor and for beauty. Let's see here. For kavod, for splendor, copiousness. That's interesting. The purpose. You like the purpose of the garments. Yes, the purpose of the garments is specifically for flashiness. There's nothing modest. There's nothing modest about the priest's clothing. It's the opposite of modesty. If you wanted to know what modesty isn't, you would look at the priest's garments, because they weren't for modesty, they were for splendor and beauty. They were for kavod and tiferet. Where's that at over there? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's right here. La kavod. And ule ta Tefaret. Glory, splendor, weight, and beauty. I want to look at this here, copiousness. I don't know what that is. Are those the same words as Psalms 104, 1 and 2? I don't know. Psalms? Is that one of the songs that you used to sing back in your young day? Psalms 104, 1 and 2. Bless Yahweh, O my soul. O Yahweh, my Elohim, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with glory and majesty. Let's Hud, Hud, and Hadar. It's two separate. It's two separate words. It's two separate words, but it's the same concept. It's the same idea, but it's two separate words. Right? It's exactly the same. Okay, but it's giving you it in a different way. It's giving you the same concept from a different perspective, I should say. But the idea is the same, right? When we think about the high priest, where the high priest was that representative of the Most High to the people, he had to be copious. Oh, excuse me. He had to be copious. That is abundance, plenty, great, in quantity, full supply. Oh my goodness, I'm having a sneezing attack. But it's grandeur, right? Is the abundance that he possesses is this magnificentness. Right? And so that's kavod. Kavod is splendor, honor, glory. When you think about honor, like what does honor, what does honor look like? Like I know what it's like to kind of honor someone, but when you think about honor, what does it look like? Because when you look at these garments, bring about uh, that idea in those that look upon it. When you looked upon the garments of the priests, the idea that it was supposed to bring about in you is honor. It's glory, right? Um, it's splendor. It's light. And so when we think about the Most High, we think about the Most High. The Most High is, his character, his attributes are are good. They're righteousness. They're compassion, right? These kind of these qualities, these character traits are something that are seen when we see the Most High, right? Because this is the thing that's being kind of replicated by the priests. When you see the priest, you see, oh yes, royalty, but you see the character traits of the Most High. When you see the Most High, you see rightness. right? And so that's what was supposed to be what was when these holy garments that were going to be put on Aaron. You were supposed to look at Aaron and just see, honor, glory, splendor, beauty. And so when we look at this, they had to go, verse 3, they had to go and find some person. It says in verse 3, and thou shalt speak unto all that are wise hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may Kohen, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And so they couldn't just go get some regular guy to even do this thing. They had to find somebody that was wise hearted. What's that word there?
You'll see.
Oh, it's two words. Lave, which is the heart, which is that innermost, that inner stomach, that innermost, the leading house, right? The heart, that leading house that lives inside of you. That thing had to be, it said, wise. That's hakam. Hakam. Wise, intelligent, skillful, artful, cunning, subtle. They had to go find that guy, the wise, skillful person who's shrewd and crafty in garment making, so that he was able to create these wonderful garments for the priests. What's he doing?
What's wrong?
Hold on a second. All right.
I was going to say something about the clothing.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I'll have to say what you said. You probably can't hear it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that you go, like, when you have a job, sometimes there's a dress requirement. Yeah. And so, this was their dress requirement.
Yeah, they had a dress code. They did have a dress code. But it was a peculiar dress code in that it wasn't like somebody could just go out and
buy
get
it from the store.
Yeah. There was one suit for the high priest, the thing that they're about to go into, and all the pieces, and again, it had to go and take this special, like they had to literally go and find. Speak unto all the wise hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. So they had to go out and find these wise hearted ones that the Most High filled with the spirit of wisdom, so that they was able to have someone then make these garments in order to set Aaron apart. because again, he had to be that splendid, beautiful, glorious image of the Most High to the people. Also, he was also this specially set apart representative of the people to the Most High.
That's right.
Like you couldn't even just, like you can't come before the Most High as you are. You can't come as you are. You had to come like this. The Most High told you how to come, and then you had to come like that. And so it goes kind of both ways. He was a representative of the Most High to the people, but the priest also is a representative of the people to the Most High. All right. So as it goes, let's go down to, let's go over to, what verse is that? Verse, I'll read from 4. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, a robe, the tunic of checker work, a mitre, a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that they may kohen. And they shall take the gold and the blue and the purple and the scarlet and the fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, of purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen, the work of a skillful workman. Now, this ephod was like a, I want to say it was like what's some things you put on whenever you cooking?
Apron.
It was kind of like an apron kind of a thing. Like he had on his white garments, but like the ephod was kind of like the, what kind of set it began, because there's many things, but it began to set the high priest apart from the other priest who just was wearing their white garments. But this ephod, this thing that went over top, this, that was blue, and they had gold, like gold was like threaded into it. Like they had to make gold into thread and then weave it into the.
And this is what I say is a mixed fabric.
Oh my goodness!
If anybody is on there.
Oh my goodness! What's wrong with you? You're so controversial. There's metals. There's metal. There's metal mixed with linen.
Yeah, it's a mixed fabric.
There's metal in it.
Yeah.
Because the blue and the purple and the scarlet is all just dyes. But the gold
it's a different material.
It's metal. Yeah. And they made metal into
yarn.
Into some kind of thread. Yeah. And wove it in.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So I'm saying the commandment is against mixing wool and linen together, not all mixed.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is all, and maybe except for this.
They didn't make an exception.
It's interesting.
I'm just saying that it's a mixed fabric.
Yeah, it is. Hey, let's look at this. Let's see what it's my book. We're just kind of taking our time looking at this little portion. If somebody wanted to put their 2 cents in, go ahead and put it in the comments. If we look down here, we're looking at verse 5. Let's look at the ephod. I have this right here. Put it up here. There we go. Let's see what the textbook has to say about the ephod. Okay. The ephod, a short, close-fitting coat worn around the body, under the arms, and having straps over the shoulders to keep it in place. Okay, so it's kind of like I kind of said it was like an apron, but it's like a tube almost. It don't have sleeves, right? It's a short, close-fitting coat, but the coat only just goes around the body, under the arms. So it's like a tube, and then there's straps that go over the shoulders to keep it in place. Interesting. So I want to look at this other thing too, because let's see where it talks about the 7. Okay, verse 7, and it shall have 2 shoulder pieces joined to the 2 ends thereof, that they may be joined together. Verse 8, and the skillfully woven band which is upon it, wherewith to gird it on, shall be like the work thereof, of the same piece of gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen. Verse 9, and thou shalt take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on the one stone, and the names of the 6 that remain on the other stone, according to the birth. So I guess there's some type of birth order on each of the stones on the shoulders of the priest, which the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shalt thou engrave the 2 stones according to the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be enclosed in settings of gold. So you have these 2 stones that are kind of like how your diamond would be on your diamond ring that was encased, but shown. So it's like encased. It says enclosed in settings. So the gold is kind of holding the stone, and it's probably holding it in such a way that you're able to see the engraved names on the stones. And I wonder how big these stones was, and how, because when you look at some of these old, like, things that you find things engraved on from the old days, Do it look neat to you?
You talking about what do you mean?
Like when you find like these old
You talking about like like hieroglyphs or something?
well, it don't gotta be hieroglyphs, it could be like ancient Hebrew writings. This would have been some ancient Hebrew writings that they was writing. I'm just thinking about how big the stone had to be to fit 6 names on it. It don't have no size.
They didn't have any digital.
They
printing.
couldn't put it in like a number 11 font or something. You know what I mean? It was something beautiful.
I mean, they put,
But I'm saying the stuff
they don't
that you
have that
see
laser
don't look
printing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The stuff that you see don't look beautiful, but some wise-hearted, skillful workman did this.
Maybe.
And by the way, this I believe the rabbis.
Who's the rabbi?
Because these people, how do they know how to do this?
Oh, you mean that they just like closed their eyes and just did all this stuff?
The Most High just gave them the knowledge and they just did it.
There was
Where did they practice at? They wasn't doing this in Egypt.
I mean, you're saying that like to the extent that they closed their eyes.
Maybe. I'm saying they could have did it with their eyes closed. Yes.
Well, being that we can laser print like serial numbers on like diamonds and stuff.
Yeah, but that's like a typewriter though.
Yeah.
It's like it's precise. But these people are doing this by hand. He probably got like a little mini tool with like a little chisel that he's using, like this little tiny little chisel that he's using he's engraving stone, onyx stone at that.
What verse is that?
9.
Is that Ketev? Ketev?
Which word you talking about?
To engrave.
Hold on. Yosi, stop all that beatboxing. That is patach.
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 To open?
Patach. Loosen.
To loosen.
Plow. Carve. Break. Patach. He's literally opening the rock. He's literally opening the rock with his tool. But I'm saying, how big is the rock though? Because you got to put 6 names on it. Beautifully, by the way. I mean, it fills up his shoulder. I'm saying that he has a good amount of surface area. He can have something that's like 5 inches around. Okay. You know what I mean? Because it's sitting on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a tiny thing.
I'm saying it depends on how big his shoulders was. Though. You know what I mean? Like, if he got big shoulders, he could put something like that on there. Right? But when you look at that as an idea, right, the priest has he carries on his shoulder, it says, we read that, hold on, it says 11, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravers of a signet, shalt thou engrave 2 stones according to the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be enclosed. Verse 12. And thou shalt put the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be stones of memorial for the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before Yahweh upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. So this is just helping you to see that Aaron, the priest, he took Israel in to the presence of the Most High with him. Right? It was a memorial of the people. Right? It was a zikron. A zikron.
Memorial.
A zikron. Zikron. You gotta roll the R. Zikron. A memento. It was a remembrance of the people when he went in, right? And so he was that representative, and he literally carries them. He bears them. Why does it say that word? Like he bears the people. He bears their names on the shoulders.
I mean, those people was pretty messed up.
Who?
Israel. And so,
well, at this point, they just had potential to be messed up.
I'm just saying that it was a lot to bear Israel on his shoulders.
That's why I think that those stones had to be so big. They had to be so big because it was a weight to carry Israel on his shoulders like that.
And I think about when you have rank and order, you have a lot of responsibility. You know, the people could just represent themselves.
What you mean?
I'm saying like the individual contributors, which was the people, represented themselves.
Well, they was how they represent themselves.
I'm saying that the priests, bro, they represented themselves before the Father. The priest represents the people before Yahweh. He has more representation than the people.
Oh yeah. Oh, then the people do, you mean?
Yes, in comparison.
Yes. All they had to worry about was their own self. Yes. Yeah. Like how you try to sit up here and talk to me. Like, oh, I just gotta worry about myself. And you gotta worry about 5 kids. But that's true though. The priest, he has the weight of the whole nation upon him, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep on going because I want to look at also I want to look at 14. So okay, 14, 13. And thou shalt make settings of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold, of plaited thread shalt thou make them, of wreathen work, and thou shalt put the wreathen chains in settings. 15. And thou shalt make a breastplate of judgment, the work of a skillful workman, like the work of the ephod thou shalt make it, of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen thou shalt make it. 4 square it shall be, and double. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set on it settings of stone, 4 rows of stones, a row of carnelian, topaz, smaragd shall be the first row. And the second row, carbuncle and sapphire and emerald. And the third row, jacinth and agate and amethyst. And the fourth row, beryl and onyx and jasper. They shall be enclosed in gold and their settings. And the stone shall be according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of his signet, every one according to his name. They shall be for the 12 tribes. So they have, so the priest has that the stones, the onyx stones that he carries as a memorial on his shoulders. But then also he has them on his chest. So he carries them on his shoulders.
This is too much.
Right? He carries them on his shoulders, but then he also carries them on his heart. Right? And so the priest has the people on his shoulders. I think when you think about the shoulders, I feel like it has to do with it reminds me of judgment. What does it say? What does it say? Hold on a second. It's just something just came to my mind. What happens over here? What happens? Chapter 7 or chapter 6? Or is it chapter 9? Oh, yes, chapter 9. What does it say? Do it say shoulders in here? Child is born unto us, a son is given unto us, and the government is upon his shoulders. The government is upon his shoulders. Oh, I knew that. It said shoulders right there. So I guess that might be the only reason why I'm thinking about judgment, is because I'm thinking about the Messianic scriptures to talk about the Messiah who has the government on his shoulders. But why is that not the same? Because we think about the high priest. The high priest really is a picture of Messiah too. Right? He's a picture of Messiah also. And so when we think about the fact that the high priest, that he has the Israel on his shoulder, government's about judgment, right? Government's about order and structure and dealing with the needs of the general needs of the people. That's what Aaron did. But when we think about the breastplate, and this piece that comes down, and it's connected though, isn't it connected? The precious stones were upon his shoulders.
I thought those stones, that wasn't the ornament of the.
No, they still didn't say that yet. They get ready to say it. But the breastplate with the stones was like a little satchel that was on his breast, but I think it was also like a bag that those the Urim and Thummim went inside of that, and all of it was on his chest, over his heart, right? And so, if we're led by our heart, right, it deals with the things that we that we strive for, the thing that we have a heart for. The high priest had to have a heart for the people. right? And just like we think that like the Messiah is a picture, I mean the high priest is a picture of Messiah, because the Messiah, he has a heart for the people, right? And then if you think about the Urim and the Thummim, how far down is it? Let's see. Because there's also judgment involved in that too, right? Because that's, oh, here it goes, all the way down to, so let's just go down to 28. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof onto the rings of the ephod with a thread of blue, that it may be upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosened from the ephod. So it's a thing, it's not the ephod, but it's attached to the ephod, and it be not loosened from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of children of Israel on the breastplate of judgment. Is literally called the breastplate of judgment upon his heart. When he goes into the holy place, he needs to be, he can't help but to have the heart for the people. You can't even hide it because it's attached to the ephod and it cannot be loosened. So he always knows that he had a heart for the people. And then the people always know that he got a heart for the people when they look at him, because they see that big, beautiful thing. But this is the purpose right here, the 29. When he goes unto the holy place for the same thing as before. This zakron, a memorial before Yahweh continually. So when he walk around with Yahweh on his forehead, because he got Yahweh on his mind, the priest got Yahweh on his mind literally. And so when he walks around, he always got the heart of the people. He got the people on his heart. When he goes before Yahweh, but he only go before him once a day, once a year. But it said for a memorial before Yahweh continually, though. But he's not before Yahweh continually. But yes, he is, though. Right? Because he's always on my mind. Tamid, continually stretch. Right? But I was reading that just to get to 30. 30, and thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment. You put in it the Urim and the Tumim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goes in before Yahweh, and Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before Yahweh continually. Okay, and so the Urim and the Tumim, the Urim, lights, the Urim, lights, Urim, lights, the oracular brilliancy of the figures of the high priest. So it literally means lights and perfections. What's it say? Lights and tumim. Perfections. Perfections. Tumim. Mm-hmm. The root is tom, completeness, prosperity, innocence, perfect. But this is the pluralized version, tumim. Tumim. Then see, we got this dagesh there makes you say double up on the mem there. See, tumim. Okay, but it is an emblem of complete truth. And so you have light and you have perfections, and these were kind of the way that the priests, would cast lots with the Urim, the Urim, and the Tumim. Right, this is how judgments were made. Right, and so it's functional in that it was used for judgment. This part, seeing that it was in the pouch, it wasn't something that was part of the beautification, I would say, because you couldn't see it, but it's inside of this magnificent bag, this breastplate that was, this is probably the first thing you saw on the priest when he walked around, was this big this breastplate, right, with all these 12 jewels on them that represented.
I think the breastplate represents the high priest.
Are you thinking that is the high priest, the breastplate?
Yeah, I think that represents that. If you have like a little plate with 12 jewels in it, you know where that came from.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's I like that idea, because the plate in and of itself is this thing of beauty. It's splendid.
And then we say it was worth so much money. I can't remember how much.
I don't know. Probably my Bible, the dates probably will give you a number from
that time.
and then probably had to. I mean, you could probably ask ChatGPT how much he thinks the. Well, let's. I want to look at the textbook here real quick. Blow this up here. See what the textbook says here about the Urim and the Thummim. The light and the perfections, which may mean, in accordance with Hebrew in the idiom, perfect lights, where the Urim and the Thummim, identical with the breastplate and the 12 brilliant stones, or were they distinct from it? At first view, the wording of this verse, "Thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim," seems to favor the latter alternative, and many moderns think they were two sacred lots used for the purpose of ascertaining the divine will on questions of national importance. Rashi likewise supposes that it was some material upon which the name of Elohim was engraved, which the high priest carried on in the breastplate. Against this opinion, it is urged in chapter 39, where the making of the breastplate is given in detail. Nothing is said in regard to the fashioning of the Urim and the Thummim. Thus, it seems that the Urim and the Thummim was the term thereby the 12 stones were denoted. Interesting. The fact that the breastplate is called the breastplate of judgment indicates that the breastplate itself, and not something distinct from it, was the medium of the divine communications. In Leviticus 8:8, the Urim and the Thummim alone are mentioned, not the precious stones, a strong proof of the identity of both. Scripture records that in times of doubt and national crisis during the earlier period of Israel's history, the peoples consulted the Urim and the Thummim for information and guidance. Numbers 27:21, 1 Samuel 28:6. But what the procedure was is nowhere explained. No recourse to the Urim and Thummim is mentioned after the days of David. They remain one of the most obscure subjects connected with the high priesthood. So you see that there were some who tried to say that the breastplate was it. But then
Was that?
yes, because when they made the breastplate, they didn't talk about making the Urim and the Thummim. Did you catch that? Did you see that? So it said over when it talks about it in chapter 39, that since it was no talk of the making of it, that it must have just been part of the breastplate of judgment.
But then you see that he literally has two stones. So.
Well, yeah. So I guess whoever's made this argument, I don't know why they gave that to us like that, but just bringing up the fact that in 39 it don't necessarily talk about it being made. Because when we look, the Most High tells Moses what's involved in making the things, and then later we see them be made. I mean, in this case, I would say that you probably, since we already know that it has to have been made, it's good enough to have it here. I don't need it there also. But, again, we see the actual, examples of
that's just like saying, or like in the Genesis where it talks about the Sabbath, it don't say the evening in the morning, but you already know, like you skipped the whole part of the day to get to the morning. So obviously, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everything don't have to be spelled out.
Not always, and it isn't spelled out, because as they were saying, the way in which they used it wasn't something that was explicitly given. You just know that it was used. Like it didn't say if like he took them out and then shook them and then was like.
Or he just reached in the bag and whichever one he picked up.
Whichever one he grabbed out.
Just swished them around and then picked it up.
Yeah.
Or they lit up. That's the other thing.
Well, I feel like the one is literally called lights. And so why wouldn't it light up?
So if it lit up, then I was the one.
Yeah, if it light up, it go, and then if it don't light, then it's
But then if that's the case, you only really need one.
Yeah,
you don't need two. Right. Unless there's a two-part thing.
What do you mean?
like an and or an or.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm just thinking why you would need to have two things.
Yeah, I feel like
one.
both of them had to do something. If they did anything, two of them had to do something. Otherwise, you might be right. All right. Well, let's see here. Oh, it's 27. Oh, man. Oh, we could go down to 36. Let's just start with 36. We already kind of brought this up. So. Adjust this. Oh, that's the next page. Okay, let's see here. We look at 36. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold and engrave upon it, like the engravings of the signet, holy to Yahweh, and thou shalt put it on a thread of blue, and it shall be upon the mitre. Upon the forehead of the mitre it shall be, and it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, and Aaron shall bear the iniquity committed in the holy things which the children of Israel shall hallow, even in all their holy gifts, and it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before Yahweh.
Yeah.
And so we see that the name of Yahweh was on the forehead of the priest. I don't know if this is a thing that goes against the idea of, you know, writing the name somewhere, because, you know, they
some people don't
over time they stopped wanting the name to write the name.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did write it, you could never mess it up.
Mm-hmm. Or what happened if you messed it up? You just had to not scratch it out.
Yes, if you messed up the name writing on the Torah scroll, then you had to you couldn't fix it, because you would be changing or altering the name. But my thing is that what if I'm saying, with that thought process, the high priest, what if he fell?
The thing got in the dirt.
Like, what if he fell down? Like,
you better just not fall. Stop.
I'm saying I don't agree with the thought process, but I'm saying, like, he probably would have had to have some of those little clips to keep this. You know what I'm talking about?
Clips?
The clips to so that his hat don't fall off. His hat
clip
fall
to
off.
His hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. If his hat falls in the dirt, he'd be defiling the name, right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about those superstitions. I think that the name of the Most High, here we see the priest published the name. He made the name known. He made it known. Not only was the name known, but it was known that he was a representative of the name that he wore on his head.
I mean, it's when I think about it, like, he literally walked around with Yahweh's name on his head. He had like things on his shoulders, on his heart. he jingled.
Yeah, all that.
It was a multi-dimensional, immersive experience.
Yes.
I just, he possibly had things that lit up in his arcade.
He literally was holy unto y'all. And then it's so much so that it said it also on that holy unto y'all.
In case anybody didn't know.
Yeah. If they couldn't tell already by looking at him, they would know that he was holy unto y'all. And so, when we think about this again, kind of just end on this note. The high priest, his whole existence was about representing the Most High. He was a representative of the Most High, and that was the essence of his existence, was that he was a representative in every way. And so, we think about, Peter talks about us being, a royal priesthood. A royal priesthood. The only royal priest that there was the high priest. You know what I mean? When he was walking around in beauty and splendor. And so, we're able to mimic that beauty and splendor in rightness and the character of the Most High. And walking around and looking, people seeing us. And when they see us, they see the Most High. And so, this Torah portion is pretty interesting. There's more to come. We'll talk about on this coming Shabbat, y'all willing. Make sure that you share the video, get people coming to our Torah class, and make it be more robust and get engaging. We have some more peoples and questions and comments about the things. All right. So, y'all willing, we'll be back on next week to do our midweek Torah class again, Wednesdays, 7 o'clock, 8:30. All right. So for now, we'll say shalom, shalom.